Forget the kill shot you have been waiting for. Homelander is not going to die. Here at DramaCrypt, we are pulling back the curtain on what might be the most savage, most humiliating ending in the entire history of superhero storytelling. And before you click away, thinking you have heard this theory before, ask yourself this. Why was Butcher so unusually calm in episode 7? And why did the writers bring back Moreau in those Gen V flashbacks at exactly that moment? The answer changes everything you thought you knew about where this show is heading. Because here is the truth. That virus is not coming to end Homelander's life. It is coming to end his godhood. And what replaces it is so much worse than death. Picture this. Homelander standing in the middle of a battlefield, eyes glowing red, and then the lights go out. He tries to lift off the ground, and his feet do not move. He looks down at his hands, and for the first time in his entire existence, he feels something he has never felt before. Ordinary. This is not a massacre of blood. This is a massacre of identity. And your favorite god is about to hit the ground, face first, in front of the entire world. Stay with me, because this theory goes deep. Look, we all want that moment, that street fight between Homelander and Butcher. That final brutal confrontation where somebody doesn't walk away. Every single one of us has been mentally writing that scene since season 1. But here's the thing, and this is where the writers of The Boys are so much smarter than we give them credit for. Death, for someone like Homelander, is not a punishment. It is a reward. Think about it from a pure psychological standpoint. Homelander is a textbook sociopath. He feels no genuine remorse, no attachment to the consequences of what he has done. For a man like him, that is practically a gift. It is clean, it is dramatic. It lets him exit the story as the monster who went out swinging. The writers are not going to give him that satisfaction. The only punishment that can truly break Homelander is forcing him to survive, and forcing him to look in the mirror as something he has spent his entire life despising, a regular human being. And that is exactly what this theory is built on. The virus that Butcher and Joe Kessler have been engineering behind the scenes is not a genetic kill switch in the way most people are theorizing. It is not designed to destroy cells or cause organ failure. It is designed to do something far more precise and far more devastating. It is designed to purge every molecule of Compound V from his bloodstream, completely, permanently. Imagine the scene, Homelander in the center of the chaos, that red laser glow building behind his eyes, and then nothing. He tries to fly. His feet stay on the ground. He tries to burn through a wall. His eyes are just eyes. He does not die in that moment. He transforms into the one thing he has always hated more than anything else in this world. Just a man. Now here is where the theory gets surgical. And this is the detail that most people are completely sleeping on. Why did the showrunners go out of their way to bring Moreau back through those Gen V flashbacks in episode 7? That is not a throwaway decision. These writers do not do throwaway decisions. Every callback, every cameo, every seemingly random moment of screen time, it is all architecture. Moreau's power is blood manipulation. She does not just control blood in a general sense. She can direct it, redirect it, accelerate it, and target it with a level of precision that no other character in this universe can match. And that precision is exactly what this plan requires. Because here is the problem with simply releasing a virus into the air, or injecting it into Homelander the traditional way. His immune system, still supercharged by Compound V, would destroy it before it could do anything meaningful. You cannot just throw chemistry at a god and expect results. You need someone who can deliver it. The theory is this. Butcher keeps Homelander occupied, draws his full attention, his full rage, everything focused on that one confrontation. And in that exact moment of distraction, Marie uses her ability to do something that has never been done to another superhuman before. She conducts what you could only call a genetic lockdown. She injects the virus directly, guiding it through the bloodstream with surgical precision, driving it straight into Homelander's bone marrow. The place where his blood is made, the source. The virus does not detonate his cells, it does not kill him. Instead, it consumes every trace of V1 he ever injected into himself, dismantling the genetic architecture of his power from the inside out, permanently erasing his identity as a superhuman. The man who was bulletproof? He would bruise from a handshake. Now let us talk about the final scene, because this is where the theory becomes genuinely poetic in the cruelest possible way. Homelander is not going to be a body in the rubble. That is too easy. That is too forgettable. Picture this instead. Homelander is standing in front of millions of his followers, the people who have worshipped him, defended him, rioted for him, built their entire sense of identity around him. And in that moment, with the cameras rolling and the crowd watching, someone from the boys steps forward. Maybe it is Mother's Milk. Maybe it is Annie. And they do something so simple, so mundane, so deliberately small, that it is almost unbearable to watch. They hit him, not with a superpower, not with a weapon, with a pen, across the face, in front of everyone. And his face goes red, and he bleeds. Regular blood, the same blood as everyone standing in that crowd watching him. That single image, that single moment of ordinary human vulnerability, does more damage to the Vought Empire than any explosion ever could. The followers who were willing to die for this man now watch him flinch and reach for his face like a frightened child. Butcher does not finish him. Butcher leaves him there, because Butcher understands something in that moment that Kessler never could. A dead Homelander becomes a martyr. A living Homelander, weak and humiliated and entirely powerless, is a wound that never heals. And then comes the moment that genuinely breaks him. Ryan looks at him and walks away. This is the most dangerous point in the entire confrontation, and it is the part of this theory that is going to divide the fandom right down the middle. Joe Kessler, the darkness that lives inside Butcher, the manifestation of every violent impulse he has ever tried to suppress, does not want Homelander to survive this. Kessler is not interested in poetic justice or psychological devastation. Kessler wants annihilation. Total, final, permanent. And when Homelander drops to his knees, powerless, trembling, bleeding from a paper cut, Kessler is going to make his move. He is going to try to take complete control of Butcher's body. And he is going to drive something sharp into Homelander's chest and end it right there. But Butcher stops him. Because Butcher, in that moment of absolute clarity, sees the trap. He understands that killing a defenseless man, even this man, even after everything, turns Homelander into a symbol, a cause, a martyr, that Vought's PR machine will rebuild into something even more dangerous than the original. So the confrontation shifts. It is no longer Butcher versus Homelander. It is Butcher versus himself, and it costs him everything. Butcher burns through the last trace of Compound V left in his own body, using it not to fight Homelander, but to cage Kessler, to lock that darkness away so deep that neither of them can act on it. Whether Butcher's body survives that level of internal genetic pressure is a question the theory leaves deliberately unanswered. And that ambiguity is exactly the point. While Homelander is on the ground and Butcher is fighting for his own soul, every eye in that building and every camera is going to drift toward Ryan. Ryan is the only one left standing who still carries genuine, untainted power. And he is the only one in this entire story whose choice in this moment carries real moral weight. Because he is the son. He is the one person whose presence means something to Homelander on a level that goes beyond politics or ideology. And here is what the theory says Ryan does. He does not kill his father. He does not help anyone else do it either. He walks over, takes Homelander by the arm, this man who was once a god, now barely able to stand, and he leads him outside, into the crowd, into the cameras, and he says in plain, quiet words that carry more devastation than any laser could, "This is your God, just a frightened man." That sentence destroys the mythology in a way that violence never could. Ryan is not just closing the story of Homelander. He is closing the story of what Vought has done to every generation it ever touched, including his own. He is the kid who was raised to be a weapon, choosing to be a witness instead. And Homelander ends up not in a crater or a memorial. He ends up in a regular cell. No laser eyes to use as a way out. No powers to rage against the walls. Just silence, and the echoes of every person he ever hurt, replaying in his head every single night. That is the ending this show deserves. What's up, DramaCrypt family? Homelander's worst punishment isn't death, it's being forced to live as a regular human. Drop a comment below. Can you imagine Homelander stuck behind a government desk? And Butcher, does he walk away as a hero, or has he completely lost his humanity? Leave your prediction and I will pin the right one. Subscribe and hit the bell for our massive live stream as soon as the finale drops. This was DramaCrypt. See you in the comments.